Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Sam, go Super Saiyan. Again, as always, we're just going to be drawing a little bit today. So if you have your tablet out or a sketchbook, feel free to take it out and follow along. Yesterday we were drawing some military uniforms. I think I want to keep continuing that today. Let's open up a new canvas. And I'm just gonna put out my guidelines. Again, we're just going to divide our model into 6 even parts. That looks about right. I'm going to draw a few circles to help me get the basic outline. Now, they don't have to be perfect, they're just there to help me figure out where I'm going to place certain parts of the model. And let's see. Today, why don't we try drawing a girl? I usually start off with the side of the face, the cheek. Then we draw a neck. Usually very thin. Work our way to the shoulder. Draw the torso, the hip area, the thigh, the calf. And finally the foot. There we go. That looks okay for the right side. Now let's try to get the left side. Go. Now on to the arms. For some reason it's just a little bit easier for me to leave the arms for last. I think the reason for that is because the torso, the body and the legs are most important for getting your ground, for setting your character in place, knowing where they're standing, what sort of pose they're in. The arms will usually just add a bit of support to that. They won't be the main thing that people look at when you're drawing a pose. You know, it's the direction of the torso and the hips and the legs that will normally really display the pose that your model is in. But now we can work on the arms a little bit. And right now what I'm drawing, I'm actually drawing from a reference. I'm actually draw the gun that is resting against their arm. And I'm not very good at drawing guns, so I just draw them as sort of cardboard cutouts. Starting to get a general idea of what, how they're standing. I don't really like where their gun placement is actually, so I'm gonna move that a little bit. go. I think we can start working from there. So the model I'm looking at is actually wearing one of those safari hats. I don't know what kind of hat that is, but it's a sort of... it just looks like a safari hat that you would wear in the jungle or something like that, but with a military... I guess the contemporary word for it would be skin. Let's see, I've actually never drawn one of these hats before, so let's see what I can do. Normally a hat would perhaps maybe look a little something like that. I don't want to draw like a sombrero for them, or that looks more like an explorer hat to me. What I do want to try to do is sort of get a idea of how this hat is placed on their heads. Maybe a little something like that, and then you've got the whole sort of square shape going on there. Maybe that'll be okay. Let's see how it turns out with that. The sort of rims of the hat seem to dip down in certain areas. Let's see what happens if we just do it like this. I guess that works a little. And actually, this is not a cap, so I feel like the front part of this wouldn't stick out so much. But rather, maybe would... Ooh. Let's work with that. I think it looks a little bit more like a detective hat now, but that's okay. We can fix it later as we keep drawing. Again, as always, military people wear vests. I spoke last stream about how vests are just so cool. I don't know who designed them, but they did a fantastic job. just draw in the collar real quick. Of course, baggy pants. That's what it's all about. And boots. I want to work on the vest a little bit. I don't think I've correctly positioned it. Let's see what we can do to fix that. Maybe I'll start with the collar, actually. Using my perspective of how this body is looking. There we go, I think that's all right. let's go back to the arms, but no, instead, let's actually just draw the the sleeves on right away. Maybe a bit more relaxed position. Starting to get a better idea of the posture here. Something still seems a little bit off. I'm not quite sure what yet, and that's part of my, I guess, weakness as an artist, or should I, and something that I'm not very strong in yet. Let's erase this whole area once again, and let's start over. I have a bit of a different idea of what I want to try to do here, but I like the legs though. I think they're okay. Let's see if I can get the body done right again. Oops. Alright, let's try to figure this out here. Again, I'm going to start off with a bit of a collar. Going to bring it down. Then I'm going to add the vest. Now, the vest is kind of tricky for me right now. let's try it like this. Let's try to get rid of some of the body lines underneath so we can see what that really looks like. Again, we're not x-rays, we don't see through the clothing. Okay. I think what I want to do here is I want to take a bit of this part out. Just want to make that shoulder part a bit smaller, but I want to bring out the vest out like this. And it's actually going to follow in a straight line down. And that's why we have this guideline here. Let's make the shoulder pad on the right side just a bit longer. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now let's try to work on the sleeves again. Again, baggy, very baggy. Erase some of the lines underneath. And I could be doing this with the layer tool, but I'm actually not too familiar with using drawing programs like this just yet. So I just kind of draw without thinking about that kind of stuff. let's try adjusting the legs a bit. I feel like they're not in exactly the correct position. Let's see if we can fix that. Again, it's no big deal. It's not a big problem. Not a big problem. We're simply going through the drawing again, and it will probably, give us an even better result than what we had at the beginning. Now, I know that sometimes it can be very scary in a drawing to erase and start over, because oftentimes we find ourselves ending up with a result that we dislike more than our first drawing that we had. But and then it will sort of completely ruin the drawing for us, and we won't think of going any further, and probably we'll just give up right then and there. But actually, that's okay, because you go to sleep that day and you're feeling a little bit disappointed, but you wake up the next day and you try again. And there we go. I think that's actually a lot better than what we had before. But yeah, so it's okay to make mistakes and try again the next day. I often ended up being so disappointed with a drawing after working on it for a while, and then seeing that it wasn't very satisfactory, and then trying to fix it, but then it just turned out even worse. And I remember just going to bed so sad, so disappointed. You have to try to remember that that's okay, because you still have another day to try. The next day you have to try. It's not over after just that one try. And I actually sort of apply this mentality to video games too. I like difficult games, and it's hard. But the thing is, if you don't spend a great amount of time trying to achieve something, but you understand that you have the next day to try again. You have opportunities again to try again. Then you go to sleep knowing that it didn't work out that day, but you come back to it the next day and you find that it's much easier, and that the problem that you were facing before is actually not so bad anymore. And it's just important that you understand that you realize that it's okay. It's okay not to get it that day. Try again the next day. Try a little bit, you don't try too much. Unless, of course, you're aiming to be a professional, which, of course, then perhaps you're going to school for it and you are being mentored and practicing and, the proper techniques and all that. In which case, yes, you spend a lot of time to it, you devote a lot of time to it, and then you struggle with it and grow from that. But if you're not really pursuing it as a profession or pursuing it to become the very best, you're just doing it because you enjoy it, because it's a hobby, well then it's okay to just put in a little bit of time here and there. See what works, see what doesn't. That day isn't the only day that you have. You have more days to come, and working on it little by little. Eventually you'll break through. There's still something about the vest that I'm not that fond of. So let's try again. And I'm not a professional artist, but right now what I'm doing is I'm actually sort of more playing with my drawing here. I don't know how to draw vests. It's my first time, and I'm just trying out different things that might work, and it may not actually work. In these sort of cases, it's always best to have a sort of training in drawing vests or stuff like that, but I don't, so the only choice I have now really is to, well, I could end the stream and go study on vests, but there's also the fun alternative of experimenting, and that's the thing, is that in drawing you can experiment as well. It's always good to learn the basics, it's always good to learn the basic principles, have the proper practice, and grow your skills. As an artist, the sort of technical way. But at the same time, it's important that you don't lose your sense of imagination, your sense of fun. That's the whole reason why we draw it, because it's fun. I don't think there's a single person in the world who draws I don't think there's a single person in the world who would draw if it were not fun. You draw because it's fun, and of course later on you have other motivations for drawing. You want to send a message, you want to express yourself, you want to change something. But whatever the motivation, I think the core motivation behind drawing is just it's fun. It's fun to do. And you can't lose that. If you lose that, then, like I said, you've lost the core motivation behind it. And so, it's always good to experiment, because experimenting is fun. It may be frustrating at times, but the fun comes from finally having a eureka moment, the moment where everything kind of clicks and you're like, oh, this worked. I don't know why it worked, but I kind of want to figure out why it worked. And I'm glad that I found out that this is a possible method of drawing. And I want to figure out why it works, and I want to keep incorporating what I've learned into my future artworks. And that's fun. So that's what I'm doing now. Now what I have here is a body that has become more masculine than feminine. It's not quite what I was looking for, but I'm just gonna see what happens if I give it a girl face. Let's see how that looks. It might work out totally fine. I have no idea. like that cool, just calm expression. I think it's working out. I think it's totally fine. I often find that when drawing characters, you'll never really figure out if they're a boy or girl until you draw their hair. And even when you do draw their hair, it can still sometimes be a bit obscure. Even now I can't really tell. So when all else fails, you draw eyelashes. You make them stand out. Or you make their hair very long and pretty. Maybe you got something nice, but today I don't want to draw long hair. I actually want to go for a shortcut. Let's extend the rims of the hat a little bit. That may be a bit too long, but it is way too long. That's pretty cool. I like that. But you know what I want to do is I actually want to make this into a ponytail. Short hair is nice, but ponytails are better. There we go. At this point, you can't really tell if it's a lady with a ponytail or a cool guy with a ponytail. And of course, here somewhere is his or her gun, just sort of resting there. Stick out a little bit here. There we go. And as always, there must be pockets. You cannot have a military vest without pockets. That is just unacceptable. That's a lot of pockets. That's good. That's what we're looking for. you saw a lady like that on the battlefield, you'd know you are in good hands. Alright, well, that's it for today. And thank you guys so much for joining me on my stream. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you also drew something that turned out well. But we keep working at it every day and get a little bit better. That's the way you grow. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you guys again next time. Until then, have a good day or a good night, and I'll see you again next time.